Guess we got caught up with telling a lie. Now you're leaving me lonely. I could get in my car, end up drinking some bar, but that was the old me. You're just thinking about tomorrow.
I'm on the road while you're waiting at home, and I swear I'll be right there. You'll find some man with no rock and roll band, and maybe you'll like that.
Remember the lake when it started to rain, babe, and I just had you.
But you don't ever think about that.
It's kinda like a light went off and now you're dead set on giving me your
You were standing on the glass, thinking about one thing. When the bottom dropped out, you were hanging on to nothing. But keep trying, I know it never looks so bad, but I can see around this patch, and she's fat. And remember when I heard that laugh, man, it wasn't so far back when I met you.
Hi.
There he is. The man, the myth, the legend, Cal. Great to
How
have you
are
on the
ya?
show, man. How you doing?
It's great to have you too. Where are you calling from?
Nashville, man. Nashville. What about
Cool.
you? Are you in Canada?
Toronto. I just drove from. Well, I'm actually at my parents' about an hour out of Toronto.
Nice.
But yeah, I just came from Nashville a couple days ago. I drove from there.
No kidding. Were you like writing, recording?
Yeah, basically we were off tour. I was doing some writing. But honestly, it was mostly just hanging out. It was our time off, and it's my favorite city to go. So was there hanging out, getting a feel for the city, writing a little bit, doing my own thing. It was great. I love it.
Love it. We actually briefly met at the Basement East right after the show.
I was gonna say, was that you?
Yeah, that was me. Because
Well, great to see you again.
yeah, man, due to Devin and Andy have been on our show. They're friends of our show. So I'm glad that we are, connecting with you now and full circle.
Me too. Me too.
Right on, brother. Right on. And of course, for my audience, singer, songwriter of Wild Rivers, main guitarist as well. Love your band, man. Then Sidelines, the new album, comes out in February. So of course, our audience may remember Devan Glover. She's been a few times, and Andy, but all that stuff. Now, full circle, we have the whole collection. We are good to go with Wild Rivers. We love you guys.
Love it.
Awesome. Awesome. And so let's start right there with the Basement East, Cal. I mean, what an incredible show that was. But in general, what a tour for you guys. I mean, like the whole tour across North America, you guys, Texas, everywhere, North Carolina, every corner. Man, the crowds knew every note, every emotion. Now that you kind of had some time off, Cal, from the high of that tour, how are you looking back on it?
It was a lot of life packed into a month and a half. Every show we kind of reflected every single night and said, wow, that was probably the best night of the tour. And then the next night would top it. And it was it might have been a combination of not playing live for so long, but the appetite for music from us, like the band was having an incredible time. The audience, everybody, you could just tell, was so hungry for it and really hungry for every song in our catalog, which was amazing. Like we would release a new song and they'd be singing every word a couple nights later. So
Yeah.
we feel so lucky with our fans, and even down to like the venue staff and our touring crew, like everybody, the energy of being grateful and thankful that shows are back. And our band was, I think we were playing the best we've ever played. So on every
Yeah.
level, it was incredible. And definitely do not take it for granted this time, and just can't wait to get out again. It was like,
Yeah.
it was an incredible way to, we spent most of the year working on this album, which was amazing, but
Yeah.
we felt disconnected from our audience for sure. Like we wanted to getting in the same room and in real time, hearing what connects and seeing people's faces, you can't beat it. You really can't.
No, and you guys are coming back on tour in the spring, but yeah, you guys are a live band. I mean, like I've been to a lot of shows at the Basement East, and what I saw that night, you guys almost tore the roof off. It was unbelievable, dude. It was sick.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And the camaraderie between you guys is really amazing. And we're talking about the new album that's coming out, and the genesis of that in Echo Park in LA, early 2020. I mean, you've talked about it briefly, how you guys kind of like rented a house and you guys had this really, really nice experience. How was that, Cal? Like being, sleeping, waking up with your boys, breakfast, wine, late nights, songwriting in a house. Just like, how is that? Was that a good experience?
It was awesome. It was everything. I think at a base level, it's just being in a different place to write and be creative. It always brings. It's a cliche, but it always brings a new creative energy. You feel inspired when you're in a new place, and we're out of our comfort zone. We had just come off recording our last EP and drove right from Nashville to LA, started working on the next thing. And it was awesome. Like we had this beautiful old house that we had all these like kind of nooks and crannies and character, and we recorded everywhere in the house and wrote every day. It was an incredible change of pace, an incredible place to kind of get oriented with the new album. It was also like everything with this year, it was everything. There was highs and lows. There was it's hard to write an album. It's hard to sit there and stare at the blank page. But all of those experiences bring us all of the emotions, and the band is incredibly open with each other, and especially when you're writing, like we wrote about the great times, we have songs about the difficult times, and to live in the same place, and everything we do when you're in a band is you're all in the same spectrum all of the time. So to be able to channel that while actually living together was pretty special.
That's cool. That's cool. And speaking of living together, also like, touring together in a van, hours and hours, miles and miles together, Kyle, like how do you, and I mean this, like, how do you keep the relationship sane? How do you keep the relationship healthy? Because, I mean, everybody, whether you're with your spouse or whoever, for that amount of time, close quarters, I mean, it's got to have its challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a family. But honestly, I feel the longer I'm in music, the more I realize the respect and love we have for each other is pretty rare. Like, I think we run into a lot of people that make the observation, oh, you guys are really like nice to each other and like actually enjoy hanging out. And I kind of took that as a given just because it's all we've known. But we're really lucky that everybody has a good head on their shoulders and everybody respects each other. I think a big part of it is there's so much like ambition and drive and intensity that comes with a life of pursuing music. But I think we all do a great job of injecting levity into the whole thing, and acknowledging that the entire pursuit and situations we get ourselves in are ridiculous, and the people we meet, and we have many moments where we look around and are like, what's happening right now? What are we doing here? And to keep it kind of fun, and like the adventure of it all is I think a huge part of why we do it. It's an all-encompassing experience that doesn't have to be, this represents all of my art 100% of the time. Like sometimes we're just doing something crazy and talking to an old man in a random pub that's lived like 100 lives, and we just kind of, you have to take every level of the story that is thrown at you and enjoy it.
Oh man, awesome. I got so much to get to you, and you're being so good with your time, and I want to get to the new songs, but also let me ask you about when you met Devan, because we've heard her perspective, and it's great, and it's classic. It's a classic in our show how you guys met, but your perspective, how was it when you guys met from your side of the story? Like, when did you realize, like, man, this chick, like, she's not only cool, talented, but like there's something here that we can build together? Like, what was that for you?
It was honestly looking back on it, it would be like 8 or 9 years ago now, and it was just easy. It was like we had the same friends. We were in the same group of people, and we're lucky that our friend group is an amazing group of people that are fun and funny and talented and smart. Um, so I knew with who her close friends were and who my close friends were that she would be great, regardless. And I knew from seeing videos of her that she was an incredible singer. So was definitely excited to get introduced and work with her. Um, and it was funny. Like we got together. I think we met at like a party, and I said, I just approached her. I was like, we should. We are the musicians of our friend groups. We should do something together. I was like, I have a bunch of songs that I've written, and I want to do some project. She's like, I've been wanting to get into a project too. Um, so it was kind of like the perfect marrying of that, where neither of us had found our musical voices yet, and I've never really self-identified as like a singer.
Yeah.
I self-identify more as a songwriter.
Mhm.
And she was the perfect other side to a bunch of songs that I had written in my bedroom, and we
Yeah.
got together and instantly were like, yep, this is good, this is good, this is good, and like had the same taste and both understood like um what was good and what wasn't. We just trusted each other's decisions musically, and I think we're still doing that.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, you guys like just perfect match. And you are a songwriter, and the songs come alive on stage. And the new album, Songwriting, is like spectacular. I mean, long time. You want to talk about all the songs are really well written. So let me ask you about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, for example, I don't know, Amsterdam, right? You have like a beautiful line about all the dreams when you surprised me with a yellow bike and with a basket that didn't match it, that I guess I'll never get to ride. Like shit. Like that's fucking like that's great, man. What is your process like? And what I mean is, you just came from Nashville. Over here, as you know, it's like it's very like, write 20 songs a week. It doesn't matter if they suck, but it's the discipline of it. Is that kind of like your approach to it? Or are you very much like, you're at Bucky's with your mates and you get the inspiration and you're like, I gotta write a fucking song?
Um, I try to do a mix. I've always been the person that gets inspired and writes a song at 1 in the morning and doesn't finish until the morning. Like that's when it comes, it comes. There's definitely that side that you gotta, when it happens, you roll with it, and that, I think that will always be part of my process. But also growing as a songwriter, learning how to walk into a co-write at 10 in the morning and meet somebody and write a song, an invaluable skill. And I've written a bunch of songs that I really love like that. That Amsterdam one, I think that's all Devan. She really, that was one that I think is a fun like evolution in all of our songwriting. Is I feel like we're better at what I was just talking about, pointing at a thing like, hey, this part of this idea is actually really good, like we should pursue it, because we all have so many ideas. And that was one she kind of showed me casually. She's like, I don't know what I think of this. I like this part. I don't really have a chorus. And I was like, that is awesome. Like, let's chase whatever that feeling in that verse is. Like, as songwriters and people, we all tend to get in our own heads and get in our own way. And like, one of my favorite things in writing on both sides is when someone can be like, yo, that is good, don't question that, let's chase whatever that feeling is. Nice. So that one, I was really happy that a song that I think early on Dev didn't think that much of. We both really liked it, but I think we both realized it was going to be special and could kind of build the song around that initial inspiration.
Right on. Yeah, nailed it, man. And you've been so good with your time. I want to play a little game with you before you leave, but before that, let me ask you about like your personal, like, band aside, like, years over, 2022, we're all growing constantly. What's something that like maybe you learned this year that you don't want to take with you to the next chapter, that you want to shed off yourself to continue your evolution, not only as an artist but as a person?
Probably a lot. I think I tend to put a bunch of pressure on myself to be productive and deliver songs and music and make everything be the best thing I've ever done, like
Yeah.
in different aspects of my life too. But I think I learned in making this album that putting that much pressure on something only hinders the process.
Mhm.
Like finish. I don't think I could finish. I don't think we could have finished this album if I didn't say to myself, "Hey," because it was very difficult to like cut songs and make hard
Yeah.
decisions like that for the album. Um, and instead of thinking of it as this will be the best album you have ever made and will ever make, having the idea of this is a project right now, there will be
Mhm.
one right after, and it is a moving process.
Yeah.
So having that idea and not putting the ultimate pressure on everything you do, I think is something I want to take with me.
Amazing. Amazing, Kyle. All right, we're gonna do a little game and then I'll let you go and enjoy your family.
Sure.
The game is called Flip the Tune. It's simple, Kyle. And the premise is we're gonna play 3 10-second clips of your songs in reverse. And we just want to know, like, you know, if you can identify them, all 3, 2, or 1, or whatever. How will you know your own songs?
Fun. Love it.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's start with the first one. We're gonna play, I think, our last one of the year. Let's Flip the Tune with Kyle of Wild Rivers, and away we go. Here we go.
I've got to be thinking about love. I recognize that the key in the vocal like that.
Thinking about love, huh? Thinking about love. Is it thinking about love? It is thinking about love, Kyle. Nice.
That sounds pretty good backwards. I like that.
For your next project. Awesome. Awesome. All right, 1 for 1. Let's go with the second one. And away we go.
That has got to be Paul Simon. I think I recognize that beat is really weird.
And man, unbelievable. 2 for 2.
I think this just shamefully proves that I listen to my own music too much.
No, amazing, amazing. Okay, you'll be surprised. You'll be surprised the results we get here. All right, let's go for the perfect score. Let's do this.
Let's do it. That sounds really cool too. I like some aspects of these songs. Is that Amsterdam? I think it's. I hear the background vocals that got me.
Unbelievable. 3 for 3, Kyle. What a legend.
How do people usually do?
Like, honestly, the average is probably 1 for 3.
Really?
Yeah. We get some 2 for 3s, but 3 for 3s, that's rare.
Wow,
that's
I feel pretty good about myself.
Awesome. Well, man, happy holidays. Congratulations on a fantastic year. We're really excited for where you guys are headed, where you're headed personally, man, and look forward to connect down the road, Cal.
Thank you so much. This was a pleasure.
Absolutely. Take care.
Hope to see you soon. See ya.